Picture a supermarket at 6 p.m. You are rushing, comparing price tags, dodging shopping carts, and trying to make a dozen tiny calculations before you even reach the checkout lane. A global consumer goods company recently wanted to introduce sustainable packaging. When they tested the concept in focus groups, the response was glowing. Consumers overwhelmingly promised they would happily pay a premium for eco-friendly materials. But when those items actually hit the shelves, the reality looked very different. Facing direct price comparisons and the immediate stress of the checkout process, those same enthusiastic consumers walked right past the eco-friendly option. These people were not lying in the focus group. They meant what they said. The problem is that behavior is entirely situational. A quiet conference room completely strips away the friction and distractions of the real world. Researchers call this the say-do gap. It is the profound and costly difference between what a person claims they will do on a survey and what they actually execute with their wallet. For decades, companies have tried to navigate this gap using static personas, those familiar slide decks introducing Ben, the 30-year-old tech professional. But a static persona is just a passport photo. It captures a single, frozen moment based on historical survey data. This diagram shows a typical consumer path, moving neatly from intention to purchase. But watch what happens in reality. External pressures like a sudden market crash, a 10% price hike, or just a bad day at work intercept that intention and break the pathway completely. Old survey answers cannot account for these rapid situational shifts. Launching a multi-million-dollar product strategy based on a fixed, context-free portrait carries enormous financial risk. To survive, brands have to stop asking what consumers think in a vacuum and start testing how they behave under pressure. To capture that situational context, the research industry is shifting away from purely human panels and turning instead to large language models to build generative personas. A company called Synthetic People is building these systems. Instead of deploying basic chatbots that simply echo text, they engineer these highly complex, fully functional behavioral models. This interface represents the brain of a synthetic consumer. It digests thousands of inputs, actual purchase patterns, deep social signals, complex predictive algorithms, and deep psychographic studies to accurately map how a specific demographic makes real-world decisions. This synthesis creates what is known as a digital twin. It is a living, continuously evolving simulation of a consumer that updates as market conditions change. This transforms the persona into an active participant. You can interview it, challenge it with scenarios, and directly intervene in its decision-making process. This unique interaction creates a predictive sandbox. It gives companies a controlled environment to intentionally stress test their ideas, actively trying to break a product before they ever bring it to market. This chart plots projected loyalty. Inside the sandbox, you ask the digital twin, how would this segment react to a forced monthly subscription? The behavioral model calculates a response, and the simulation predicts a sharp drop in retention, showing where the user abandons the product. Running that exact scenario with a physical human panel to measure the behavioral fallout would take weeks, if not months, to properly organize and analyze. With a predictive sandbox, research teams can instantly identify those fatal flaws and discard failing concepts in seconds, long before a single dollar is spent manufacturing a physical prototype. This diagram illustrates the research pipeline operating in reverse. Instead of building a product and validating it at the very end of a long development cycle, teams pass their initial concepts through an AI filtration node, putting rigorous behavioral testing right at the beginning. This technology is not built to eliminate empathy. Synthetic personas are designed to augment market research, not to replace your conversations with actual customers. By deploying AI to filter out baseline noise and catch basic usability errors early, brands guarantee that their actual human focus groups are reserved for exploring the most complex emotional and strategic nuances. Relying on what consumers claim in a controlled room provides a limited snapshot. Building a successful product now requires simulating what millions of people will actually do when they are out in the real world. To see this predictive power for yourself, visit the Synthetic People Test Lab to interact with a living digital twin firsthand and start running your own behavioral simulations.